although the most recent group to die are NAC8 in the distant. Virus Camp, common name Virus XII, had 8 inhabited cities. Only some 1,000 people of the 5th city escaped and survived as a result of a computer error which miscalculated the exact time by 2 years. Due to basic psychophysical maladjustments, the refugees of Virus XII 5 are classified as antisocial types B6 and must be considered unstable. All antisocial types B6 are barred from responsible positions in United Cities by order of the Intercity Council. Short history of the United Cities. Scientists started it. They were serving in my company and he was one of them. A Virus XII 5 unstable, and don't ever call that damn little city by its number if you meet one of them. They call it Nova Maurania. But you won't meet one of them. Or maybe you will, maybe. They did make it. I like to think they did. There were a lot of them in the companies in 2078. Restless men. The companies were the logical place for them. We're still classified antisocial D6, too. Every year it's harder to get recruits, but we still have to be careful who we take in. We took scientists. There was something about him from the very start. Why do you want to join a free company? He was a tall, humanoid type, with deep black eyes and a thin, lipless mouth that never smiled. I'm an antisocial. I like to fight. I want to fight. A miner joining the miners? A grudge against the council? It's not good enough, mister. We live on the council. Try again. The hero of the glorious war of survival. You can say it, Alpha. I suppose I should have seen it then, the rock he carried deep inside him. It might have saved 30 good men. But I was thinking of myself. Commander Taylor of the Red Company, humans. Only we're not all humans now. Every year there are fewer recruits, and it won't be long before we die out and the council will have the last laugh. Old Red Stone, the hero of the war of survival, the little finger of my left hand still missing and telling the city I was a very old soldier of the outlawed free companies hanging on to life on the rocky city of the distant Salomon Camp. Back at the old stand, because United Cities still need us. In a way it's a big joke. 2 years after Major N and I had a belly full of the glorious war of survival and they chased us all the way out here, they turned right around and made the peace a joke on me. But sometimes I like to think that our rune out was the thing that made them think and make peace. When you've been a soldier for 35 years you like to win battles, but you like to feel you helped bring peace, too. Personal integrity. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? So you like personal integrity? Alright, Alpha, are you sure you know what you're getting into? We're 60 years from Camp Center 10, from the nearest United Camp City. We've got no comforts, no future, nothing to do but fight. A woman in her right mind won't look at us. If they see you in uniform they'll spit on you. If they catch you out of uniform they'll kill you. Okay. We fight small wars for good profits. It's not Earth out here, but we've got 4 nice suns, plenty of zombie whiskey. Major N taught the locals to make, and we're our own masters. The United Cities leaves us pretty much alone unless they need us. You do your job, and your job is what I tell you to do, period. You got that straight? I hope it'll sound good in a year, Alpha, because once you're in you don't get out except feet first. Is that clear? I have life and death rights over you. You owe allegiance to the Red Company and me and to no one else. Got that? Today your best friends are the men of Major N's Zombie 4th Fleet Patrol, and your worst enemies are the men of Mandisee's Syrian Company. Tomorrow Major ends boys, may hear. Worst enemies and Mandisee's troops your best friends. It all depends on the contract. A company on the same contract is a friend. A company against the contract is an enemy. You'll drink with a man today and kill him tomorrow. Got it? If you kill a free companion without a contract, you go to court-martial. If you kill a citizen of the United Cities except in a battle under contract, I throw you to the wolves, and that means you're finished. That's the way it is. Right, get your gear, see the adjutant and sign the agreement. I think you'll do. How many non-humans I was taking into the company? Maybe I should have been thinking about this one single non-Earthman and the something he was carrying inside him, but I didn't, and it cost the company 30,000 men we couldn't afford to lose. We can't afford to lose one man. There are only 100 companies now, 20,000 men each, give or take a few thousand depending on how the last contract went. Life is good in the United Cities now that they've disarmed and outlawed all war again, and our breed is dying out faster than it did in the 50 years of peace before the War of Survival. Too many of the old companions like me went west in the War of Survival. The Galactic Council know they need us, know that you can't change all living creatures into good galactic citizens overnight, so they let us go on fighting for anyone in the city who wants to take something from someone else, or who thinks someone else wants to take something from him. And even the mighty United Cities needs guards for expeditions to the unexplored cities. But they don't like us and they don't want us. They don't cut off our little fingers anymore, but we have to wear our special black uniforms when we go into United territory under penalty of a quick death. Humane, of course, they just put us to sleep gently and for keeps. And they've got a stockpile of virus bombs ready at all times, in case we get out of hand. We don't have virus weapons, that's part of the agreement, and they watch us. They came close to using them down. They're in the frozen waste of virus XII, but 30,000 of us died without the virus. We killed each other. They liked that, even if they didn't like what happened. Alpha and the other refugees have no home to go back to. They can't even dream. They sat in that one transport that escaped and watched their city turn into a lifeless ball of ice that would circle dead end, frozen forever around its burned-out star. A giant tomb that carried under its thick ice their homes and their shields and their loves. And they could not even hope and dream, or I did not think they could. Alpha had been with us a year when we got the contract to escort the survey mission to Nova Maurania, a private Earth commercial mining firm, looking for minerals under the frozen wastes of the dead city. Major N was in on the contract. We took 2 battalions, one from my Red Company and one from Major N's Zombie Patrol. My sub-commander was Pete Cuenso, old Mike Cuenso's boy. It all went fine for a week or so. Routine guard and patrol. The survey team wouldn't associate with us, of course, but we were used to that. We kept our eyes open and our mouth shut. That's our job, and we give value for money received. So we were alert and ready. But it wasn't the attack that nearly got us this time. It was the cold of the dead city lost in absolute zero and absolute darkness. Nova Maurania was nearly 40% uranium, and who could resist that? A Centaurian trading unit did not resist the lure. The attack was quick and hard. A typical zombie patrol attack. My company was pinned down at the first volley from those damn smoky blasters of the zombies. All I could see was the same shimmering lights I had learned to know so Well, in the war of survival against leukemia. Someday maybe I'll find out how to see a leucan. Major N has worked with me a long time to help, but when the attack came this time all I could do was eat ice and he may help call to Major N. That Centurion trading unit was a cheap outfit. They had hired only one battalion of RJN's 9th Zombie-Free Patrol, and Major N flanked them right off that city. I got my boys on their feet and we chased RJ's men halfway back to Salomon with Major N laughing like a hyena the whole way. Beam for help and pray we don't freeze first. They had missed our small communications reactor unit. We sent out our call and we all huddled around the small reactor. There might be enough heat out of it to let us live 5 hours. If we were lucky. It was the 3rd hour when scientists began to talk. Maybe it was the nearness of death. I was 22. Portario was the leader on our city. He found the error when we had one transport ready. We had 3 days. No time to get the other transports ready. He said we were lucky the other cities didn't have even one transport ready. Not even time for United Cities to help. Portario chose 1,000 of us to go. I was one. At first I felt very good, you know. I was really happy. Until I found out that my wife couldn't go. Not fit enough. United Cities have deemed the standards to us. Funny how you don't think about other people until something hurts you. I'd been married a year. I told them it was both of us or neither of us. I told Portario to tell United Cities they couldn't break up a family. And to hell with their standards. They laughed at me. Not Portario, the council. What did they care? They would just take another man. When she knew I could have gone on the transport before we took off, I stood at a port and looked down at her. A small girl trying to smile at me. She waved once before they led her away from the rocket. All hell was shaking the city already, had been for months, but all I saw was a small girl waving once, just once. She's still here, somewhere down there under the ice. The cold was slowly creeping into us. It was hard to move my mouth, but without her, without my home, I'm as dead as the city. I feel frozen. Culenso said, you won't have long to remember. But Culenso was wrong. My 3rd Battalion showed up when we had just less than an hour to live. They took us off the earth mining outfit. Haggled over the contract because the job had not been finished and I had to settle for 2/3 contract price. Major N did better when he ransomed RJN's 2 sub-commanders. It wasn't a bad deal and I would have been satisfied, except that something had happened to Yuan Alpha. Maybe it made him realize that he did not want to die after all. Or maybe it turned him space happy and he began to dream. A dream of his own born up there in the cold of his dead city. A dream that nearly cost me my company. I did not know what that dream was until Alpha came into my office a year later. He had a job for the company. 2 full companies. 40,000 men. They must expect to need a lot of protecting. United Cities opposes the project. Or they will if they get wind of it. I said, United opposes a lot of things. What's special about this scheme? Zombie virus. It's not a word you say or hear without a chill somewhere deep inside. Not even me, and I know a man can survive virus weapons. I know, because I did once. Weapons so powerful I'm one of the last men alive who saw them in action. Mathematically the big ones could wipe out a camp. I saw a small one destroy a town in 10 seconds. I watched Alpha for a long time. It seemed a long time anyway. It was probably 20 seconds. I was wondering if he had gone space crazy for keeps. and I was thinking of how I could find out what it was all about in time to stop it. I said, 100 companies won't be enough. Alpha, have you ever seen or heard what a virus bomb can? Alpha said, not weapons, peaceful power. Even that's out and you know it, I said. United Cities won't even touch peaceful virus, too dangerous to even use. You can take a look first. I alerted Major N and we took 2 squads and a small transport in Alpha. Directed us to a tall mountain that jutted 100 feet above the ice of Nova Maurania. I was not surprised. In a way I think I knew from the moment Alpha walked into my office. Whatever it was, Alpha was part of it. And I had a pretty good idea what it was. The only question was, how? But I didn't have time to think it out any farther. In the companies you learn to feel danger. The first fire caught 4 of my men. Then I was down on the ice. They were easy to see. Black uniforms with white wedges. Tito hair is white. Wedge company humans. I don't like fighting other humans, but a job's a job and you don't ask questions in the companies. It looked like a full battalion against our 2 squads. On the smooth ice surface there was no cover except the jutting mountain top off to the right. And no light in the absolute darkness of a dead star. But we could see through our viewers, and so could they. They outnumbered us 10 to 1. Major N's voice came through the closed circuit. Surrender. When a company breaks silence in a battle, it means surrender. There was no other way, and I had a pretty good idea that the council itself was behind O'Hara on this job. If it was virus involved, they wouldn't ransom us. The council had waited a long time to catch Red Stone in an execution offense. They wouldn't miss. But 40 of our men were down already. Well, I'd had a lot of good years. Maybe I'd been a manager too long. I was thinking just like that when the sudden flank attack started. From the right. Heavy fire from the cover of the solitary mountain top. O'Hara's men were dropping. I stared through my viewer. On that mountain, I counted the uniforms of 22 different companies. That was very wrong. Whoever Alpha was fronting for could not have the power or the gold to hire 24 companies including mine and Major N's. And the fire was heavy but not that heavy. But whoever they were very welcome. We had a chance now, and I was making my plans when the tall old man stood up on the small, jutting top of that mountain. The tall old man stood up, and a translating machine boomed out. All of you, O'Hara's men, look at this. I saw it. In a beam of light on the top of that mountain, it looked like a small neutron source machine. But it wasn't. It was a virus projector. They went fast and silent. And I knew where they were going. Not to Salomon. O'Hara would have taken one look at that machine and be halfway to United Camp Center before he had stopped seeing it. I felt like taking that trip myself. But I had agreed to look and I would look. If we were lucky, we would have 48 hours to look and run. I fell in what was left of my company behind the men that had saved us. More company uniforms than I had ever seen in one place. They said nothing. Just walked into a hole in that mountain. Into a cave. An inch of the cave. At the far end, a door opened. An elevator. We followed the tall old man into the elevator and it began to descend. The elevator car went down for a long time. At last I could see a faint glow far below. The glow grew brighter and the car stopped. Far below the glow was still brighter. We'd all stepped out into a long corridor cut from solid rock. I estimated that we were at least 200 miles down, and the glow was hundreds of miles deeper. We went through 3 sealed doors and emerged into a vast room. A room bright with light and filled with more men in company uniforms, civilians, even women. At least 1,000. And I saw it. The 1,000 refugees, all of them, gathered from all the companies, from wherever they had been in the cities, gathered here in a room, 200 miles into the heart of their dead city, a room filled with giant machines, virus machines, highly advanced virus power, reactors. Virus power is an execution offense. You know that. How the hell did you get all this? I know the offense, Commander, and I know you. You're a fair man. You're a brave man. It doesn't matter where we got the power. Many men are dead to get it, but we have it, and we will keep it. We have a job to do. After that stunt out there, you've about as much chance as a snowball in hell. O'Hara's halfway to Camp Center. Look, with a little luck we get you out to Salomon. If you leave all this equipment, I might be able to hide you until it blows over. I would have preferred not to show our hand, but we had to save you. I was aware that the Council would find us out. Sooner or later, they missed the virus material a month ago. But that is unimportant. The important matter is, will you take our job? All we need is another 2 days, perhaps 3. Can you hold off an attack for that long? All right, Commander, you should know all we plan. Sit down and let me finish before you speak. I sat. Major N sat. The agitation of his colored lights showed that he was as disturbed as I was. The 1,000 Nova Moranians stood there in the room and watched us. Scientist stood with his friends. I could feel his eyes on me. Hot eyes. As if something inside that lost man was burning again. Portario lighted a pipe. I had not seen a pipe since I was a child. The habit was classified as ancient usage in the United Cities. Portario saw me staring. He held his pipe and looked at it. In a way, Commander, this pipe is my story. On Nova Morania we liked the pipe. We liked a lot of the old habits. Maybe we should have died with all the others. You know, I was the one who found the error. Sometimes I'm not at all sure my friends here thank me for it. Our city is dead, Commander, and so are we. We're dead inside. But we have a dream. We want to live again. And to live again our city must live again. The old man paused as if trying to be sure of telling it right. We mean no harm to anyone. All we want is our life back. We don't want to live forever like lumps of ice circling around a dead heart. What we plan may kill us all, but we feel it is worth the risk. We have thousands of virus power reactors. We have blasted out Venturi tubes. We found life still deep in the center of this city. It is all ready now. With all the power we have, we will break the hold of our dead. Someone send this city off into space. But it can, Commander. It's a great risk, yes, but it can be done. My calculations are perfect. We want to leave this dead city, go off into the country and find a new town that will bring life back to our city. A green, live, warm Nova Morania once again. That's the craziest damn dream I ever sat still for. You know what your chances of being picked up by another patrol are? Picked up just right. Why? We have calculated the exact initial thrust, the exact tangential velocity, the precise orbital path we need. If all goes exactly, I emphasize exactly, to the last detail as we have planned, we can do it. Our chances of being caught by the correct patrol in the absolutely correct position are 1 in 1,000, but we can do it. It was so impossible I began to believe he was right. If you aren't caught just right, we could burn up or stay frozen and lifeless. We could drift in hiding forever, as cold and dead as we are now. And our virus power won't last forever. The forces we will use could blow the city apart. But we are going to try. We would rather die than live as walking dead men in this perfect, united cities we do not want. The silence in the room was like a Solomon fog. Thick silence broken only by the steady hum of the machines deep beneath us in the dead city. A wild, impossible dream of 1,000 lost souls. A dream that would destroy them, and they did not care. There was something about it all that I liked. Why not get council approval? Council has little liking for wild dreams, Commander. It would not be considered as advancing the future of the United Cities' destiny. Then there are the virus. And there is the danger of imbalance, galactic imbalance. I have calculated it carefully. The danger is remote, but Council is not going to take even a remote chance. All they care about is their damn sterile destiny. They don't care about people. Well, we do. We care about something to live for. The hell with the destiny of the cities. They don't know, and we'll be gone before they do know. They know plenty now. O'Hara's deemed them inches. So we must hurry. 3 days, Commander. Will you protect us for 3 days? A council offense, punishable by instant destruction with the United Cities. Reserve virus weapons in the hands of the super-secret police and disaster teams. And 3 days is a long time. I would be risking my whole company. I heard Major N laugh. I did not know then how much it would really cost us. If I had, I might not have agreed. Or maybe I would have. It was good to know people could still have such dreams in our computer age. Okay, I said, beam the full companies and try to get one more. Mandazi the Syrian boys would be good. We'll split the fee 3 ways. I said, thank me later if we're still around. We beamed the companies and in 20 minutes they were on their way. Straight into the biggest trouble we had had since the War of Survival. I expected trouble, but I didn't know how much. Pete Culenso tipped me off. Pete spoke across the light years on our beam. Mandaziva says okay if we guarantee the payment. I've deposited the bond with him and we're on our way. But, Red, something's funny. What? This place is empty. The whole damn camp out here is like a desert. Every company has moved out somewhere. Okay, I mean, get rolling fast. There was only one client who could hire all the companies at one time. United Cities itself. We were in for it. I had expected perhaps 10 companies, not 3 against 97, give or take a few out on other jobs. It gave me a chill. Not the odds, but if Council was that worried maybe there was that danger. But I give my word and a companion keeps his word. We had one ace in the hole, a small one. If the other companies were not here in virus yet, they must have Rendezvous at Camp Center. It was the kind of follow-the-book mistake United would make. It gave us a day and a half. We would need it. They came at dawn on the second day. We were deployed across 5 of the dead cities of Virus XII in a ring around Nova Maurania. They came fast and hard, and Portario and his men had at least 10 hours work left before they could fire their reactors and pray. Until then we did the praying. It didn't help. Mandaziva's command transport went at the 3rd hour. A Lucan blaster got it. By the 4th hour I had watched 3 of my sub-command transports go. A Syrian force beam got one, an Earth fusion gun got another, and the 3rd went out of action and rammed O'Hara's command transport that had been leading their attack against us. That 3rd transport of mine was Pete Culenso's. Old Mike would have been proud of his boy. I was sick. Pete had been a good boy. So had O'Hara. Not a boy, O'Hara, but the next two. The last of old free companion from Earth. I'm the last, and I said a silent goodbye to O'Hara. By the 6th hour Major N had only 10 transports left. I had 12. 5,000 of my men were gone. 8,000 of Major N's Lucans. The Syrians of Mendezeev's whole company were getting the worst of it, and in the 8th hour Mendezeev's second in command surrendered. It would be over soon, too soon, and the dream would be over with a battle. I broke silence. Taylor calling. Do you read me? Commander Stone calling. Request. Conference. Repeat. Request conference. A face appeared on the intercompany view screen. The cold, blank, hard-bitten face of the only free company commander senior to me now. That O'Hara was gone. Jake Campesino of the Sig Black Company. Are you surrendering, Stone? No. I want to speak to my fellow companions. Campesino's voice was like ice. Violation. You know the rules, Stone. Silence cannot be broken in battle. I will bring charges. You're through, Stone. I said, okay, crucify me later. But hear me now. Campesino said, close silence or surrender. It was no good. We had it. And across the distance of battle, Major N's face appeared on the screen. The colored lights that were a Lucan's face, and I knew enough to know that the shimmering lights were mad. The hell with them, Red. Let's go all the damned way. And a new face appeared on the screen. A face I knew too well. First, Councilor Rourke. Stone, you've done a lot in your day, but this is the end. You hear me? You're defending a madman in a council crime. Do you realize the risk? Universal imbalance. The whole pattern of cities could be destroyed. We'll destroy you for this, Stone. An virus project. Without council authorization. I said to Campesino, 5 minutes, Commander. That's all. There was a long blank on the screen, then Campesino's cold face appeared. Okay, Red, talk. I don't like civilian threats. You've got your 5 minutes, make it good. I made it good. I told them of a handful of people who had a dream. A handful of people who wanted their home back. A few lost souls who would rather die trying to live the way they wanted to live than go on living in a world they did not want. And I told them of the great united cities that had been created to protect the dreams of everyone in it, and had forgotten why it had been created. I told them that it did not matter who was right or wrong, because when a man can no longer dream, something has gone wrong in the city. When I finished, Campesino's face was impassive. Campesino said, you heard Commander Stone, men. Close off, Stone, give me a minute to get the vote. I waited. It was the longest minute of my life. You win, Red, Campesino said. He was smiling at me. Go home, Counselor, battle's over. The Counselor went. He said there would be hell to pay, and maybe there will be, but I don't think so. They still need us. We lost 30 good men in all the companies. But when the next dawn came, Nova Maurania was gone. I don't know where they went or what happened to them. Here in my stronghold I sometimes imagine them safe and rebuilding a green world where they can smoke pipes and live their own lives. And sometimes I imagine them all dead and drifting out there into the infinity of space. I don't think they would mind too much either way.